Murph and Sack break down your fight bills and take you around the league right now on Baseball BRUNCH.
Good morning and happy Easter to everyone in this beautiful yet overcast Sunday morning in the Delaware Valley. Why is it beautiful? The Phillies are 2-0, baby. Let's keep it going here. Welcome to Bud Light Baseball Brunch, powered by Green Legion Radio, 102.5 Fox Sports The Gambler, 104.1 if you're listening to us in the Trenton area, and WDAS AM around the rest of the city. You can also listen to us by downloading the iHeartRadio app, searching for Fox Sports The Gambler, and you can listen to us crystal clear anywhere worldwide. We're coming to you live from Sports and Social Philadelphia at the brand new Philly Live Casino down at the Sports Complex. Sports and Social is home to the region's first FanDuel sportsbook. So come on down and play some bets for today's Major League Baseball action and have some fun with us while you get some drinks and some food too before the game. 105 start today. My name is Chris Sack, and this man next to me needs no introduction. My co-host and former Phillies broadcaster, Greg Murphy. Murph, how you doing?
I am doing great. Good morning, Sack. Hey, you know, the Phillies are 2-0 since we launched this program. Since we've been partners, they haven't lost a game. In fact, that should be lost on anybody.
Listen, man, compared to all of your broadcast colleagues that you've had over the years, I have the best win percentage. So give me all the credit in the world on that one, Murph.
No doubt about it. Yeah, Phillies look good. We're going to dive into that, talk about the first two games today, and talk about maybe possibly sweeping this series and getting this season off to the kind of start that they really needed to do. But first, a little business to take care of, because here on the program, the Baseball BRUNCH, we're giving people. We're always out trying to help the folks that are listening to us. So how about this? We're going to give away 2 sets of tickets today, 2 sets of 4 on today's program. 4 tickets to Tuesday's game against the Mets at 7:05, and 4 tickets to Wednesday's game as well. We're going to ask 2 trivia questions throughout the course of the show. First person that gets the answer in is going to be the winner. You got to follow the Green Legion Radio YouTube channel or Green Legion on Facebook or Twitter to get your answers in. You ready for the first question?
Absolutely. You know what's great about this, though, is Sean Henderson is not allowed to win again this week, and he is in Facebook jail.
So we could win
for at least another 7 hours.
All right. Well, that's good. So we will have a new winner this week. Tickets. Let's give away 4 right off the bat. All right. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to ask you a trivia question, and we're going to ask you it's a multi-part answer. And we'd like you to make sure that you put all 3 answers on the same text or Facebook post. Okay. So here's the question. Shane Victorino forever put himself in Phillies lore with his 2008 Game 2 NLDS Grand Slam off of CC Sabathia. Who were the 3 runners on base when Victorino hit the Grand Slam? All 3 names in the same answer. First person with it will win 4 tickets to Tuesday night's game.
Another great thing about that is when we actually do reveal the trivia answer today, Jansen has the video queued up. So we're not going to sit here and have an unbelievable pregnant pause like we did last week when we announced the winner. So, Jansen, I appreciate you being prepared this week.
We're growing.
So, Murph, let's dive into it, man. 2-0 start. The Phillies are looking solid. They're looking good. The offense really hasn't sparked yet, but it's okay because, as Charlie Manuel says, hitting season happens later on in the season as the weather tends to warm up. So right now, the most important thing for the Phillies to do is to stack W's. I mean, especially in this gauntlet of a division, they have to stack the wins now, especially now because of the Washington Nationals and the COVID outbreak. We're staring down the barrel of the gun with having to face Jacob DeGrom tomorrow in the first start of the season. But if we're going to talk about the home opener here, let's start out with that, and then we'll dive into the Zach Wheeler show, which is what I like to call Game 2. The home opener, how great was it to have fans back in the stands for the first time since September 2019? I mean, you were there last year, Murph. You were being part of the broadcast team inside the ballpark. You used to interact with fans, being around the ballpark. Tell me from your perspective how awesome it was to see the fans back in the stands, even though it was 8,800 after 500-something days in a row with not having fans in the stands.
Yeah, you know, it was awesome. You couldn't help but feel a little nostalgic. I had chills when you heard Dan Baker's voice, you heard the crowd start to cheer. Another great thing that happened on opening day, Dan Baker back at the ballpark. But, it just made you kind of emotional because you remember just how difficult of a year this was for so many people. And I think I said it last year or last week on the show. sports has a way of kind of bringing things back to normal.
Absolutely.
And we want sports to do that. Baseball's been a big part of that throughout our history. And certainly opening day this year was one of those moments. And great, only 8,800 here in Philadelphia, but the 8,800 brought it, and you can feel the energy. And I loved hearing what some of the guys were saying after the game. You know, each and every one, starting with Joe Girardi, right on through the players, each and every one of them saluted the fans and said, you know, thanks, because you give us that little bit of extra energy, and it means something. And I think they understand that even more now. So it was great to see.
Yeah, I keep on saying myself that I know when I finally get back into Citizens Bank Park, and I've been to every opening day since 2007 outside the last 2 years. I keep on saying that I know how I'm going to feel the second I walk back in through those gates. It's going to be an emotional moment for me as a diehard sports fan, as a diehard Phillies fan my whole entire life, to walk back in and feel like I'm at home again.
Yeah.
And I love seeing the photos. The Phillies' social media accounts, they were fantastic with promoting their fans and their interactions on Twitter and Facebook. And it was incredible. Really feel their energy through the radio, through the television. It was just it was incredible to see. And it's going to be a fun season as long as we keep going along with things here and people doing the right things and being vaccinated and wearing their masks. We should see more fans in the ballpark as the season goes on.
Yeah, but look, the Phillies organization and the city of Philadelphia are working hand in hand to try and link with everybody else doing the right thing so that during this season they can add in more and more fans as it goes along. Because they're going to be watching, and they're going to look at the numbers, and they're going to make sure that they don't start to spike here in Philadelphia. But for the most part, watching the game the other day, seeing the faces of the fans, virtually everyone was covered up, which is so important. And the Phillies have done a good job with social distancing. So you got to believe it's going to work. You got to get everyone doing the right things for the right reasons. And hey, it's only going to benefit us as sports fans later on in the season. Because I can tell you, I want to see 30,000 there in September if that's possible. And hopefully they're making a playoff run at the time, and that place will be rocking. So let's do the thing right here in April and May, and then get to the point where we can all be together down there at the ballpark again.
Absolutely, Murph. And I kind of laughed about it too because it was a cold day.
Yeah.
And the masks actually tend to benefit you when it's that cold outside. But first things first, I want to dive into the performance of the staff ace, Aaron Nola. I feel like people are being a little bit unfair with Nola, with how they're analyzing his performance on opening day. I've heard some topics on radio over the last few days. Is Nola an ace after his performance on opening day? I don't know what more you wanted out of Nola on that day. You're not going to get a 3-game shutout from him on the first day of the season. He's only had 2 complete games in his career, and they're both 7-inning variety ones that he had last season because of the shortened games with the doubleheaders. So he's not a guy that's going to give you a full 9. Maybe this year he'll stretch out a little bit further, but tentatively in the first game of the season for a pitcher, you're not going to go all 9. It's not, you're not fully stretched out yet. Now, give it a few more weeks here, but 6 2/3, 2 earned runs, 6 hits, no walks. I mean, he gave up on his last pitch. And all these years later, it's almost 11 years, okay, this October, and I still can't stand the Kung Fu Panda, Pablo Sandoval. This guy always finds a way to focus in the rear end, and I can't stand him. But he left one over the plate, didn't have to put one there, and he did. And Girardi did the right thing. He went out there and he removed him from the game because at that point he didn't deserve to lose the game. If that were going to be the possible outcome. So let's break down a little bit what you saw out of Aaron Nola. Maybe he got lucky with a couple of pitches that he got away with. What did you see out of Nola on Thursday?
I thought he pitched really well. And I think, if you want to knock Aaron Nola for not getting to a complete game on April 1st or whatever the date was, on a cold day in Bank Park, you're not really understanding what it's all about for baseball. It is a rarity nowadays, certainly a rarity for a guy early in April to be going deep into game 7, 8, 9 innings. So what he was able to do, and I agree. So he got away with one where the wind kept it in. I think it was Swanson that hit one down the line that probably would have won out on the different day.
The Braves got away with a couple of them too.
Bryce had one that would have won out on the normal day. But he really made one mistake. And you're right when you say that he's not having to throw the pitches. The head of center ball at that point, 0-2, and, you know, also with the Rosenbag, throw it there. So, you know, you have to come across the plate. Aaron Nola, he missed the spot. He left one up, and you give Pablo credit. He deposited it even right into the seat. So it was a shot. And so, yeah, he made one mistake. I thought he did it terrific. And if he pitches like that for the majority of his starts this season, the Phils are going to be in a real good spot because that's exactly what you need out of Aaron. And he will get stretched out. And when the weather gets warmer, guys from Louisiana, for God's sakes, he likes the hot, humid weather. That's what he thrives in. So as that gets warmer, you're going to see him going deeper in games. And, you know, I love Aaron at the top of our rotation. And you can interchange Zach Wheeler right there, too. You know, we're going to get there. It doesn't matter what, it doesn't matter. What you need are guys to go out and give you a chance to win. Aaron Nola almost always gives you a chance to win, and that's why I like it.
So, and the reason why that I didn't mind Girardi pulling in from the game. Now, if this was last year, I would have had to be with Joe Girardi.
You would have known what was going to happen.
Hey, with, you know, Gabe Kapler pulled him at 68 pitches a couple years ago. That was an absolute problem. But if we had last year's bullpen and Nola came out at that point, I would have most definitely had an issue with Joe Girardi making that move at that point. Pitch Nola to his arm falls off at that point with our bullpen. But the bullpen was strong, and I know we talked to extent last week with Alvarado. He had some control issues, of course, just a little bit, but he is this year's version of Mitch Williams. He is a high wire act. The way that he's up there on the mound, loaded the bases, made it interesting in the 8th inning, but he got out of it with 101 mile per hour fastball to the outside part of the plate. But Archie Bradley came in, he walked 4 pitches and a walk, but then he got out of the inning. And then Neris looked good. And then I'll tell you what, I was very impressed by Connor Brogdon because he got put into a bad situation. I want to get your take on this as well. He got put into a bad situation to start off the 10th because the rule is still in place where the runner starts the inning at second base. And for being a young kid, now in his first full Major League Baseball season, you can't count last year because there were only 60 games, but now in his first full Major League Baseball season, he came out there and he got us out of that inning and gave us a shot to win in the bottom of the 10th, and we did. Bullpen, 3 1/3, no earned runs, 1 hit, 2 walks, 4 Ks. Why don't you tell me a little bit about what you thought about the bullpen for opening day?
Yeah, you know, I throw Alvarado. What's special about Alvarado is that even with his control problems, and we're going to see that from time to time, he'll be dominant sometimes, but he's also going to get himself into trouble. But the ability to hit triple digits every once in a while, so, you know, I think it was a walk and then strikeout, and then it was a base hit, and then a strikeout, and then hit by pitch, and then a strikeout. So, you know, that's okay. That's going to be because that's going to keep the guys on the bases and not across the plate. He's got a special arm. And I think, hey, opening day, new city, I'm sure there were some jitters there as well. So I think you're going to see good things out of him. I agree with you. I think it's going to be someone to watch this year. I got a chance to talk to him a couple of times last year. He's a really neat kid, and he, you know, his first outing, his first pitch he threw, I think it was a 3-run home run he allowed. And then after that, he was shut down. He was really good. He went back to the minors for a little bit, came back to the big leagues, and at that point, it was really, really good for the Phils. So, yeah, I had no problem with Joe Girardi pulling Aaron Nola at that time. I thought it was the right time to get him out of that game. And the bullpen did what they needed to do. And God, that sounds good to say.
Oh, man.
The bullpen did what they needed to do. A T-shirt that says that. And if they continue to do that, then this team's going to win ball games. And that's what's different this year than what's a year ago.
5 1/3 scoreless innings to start out this season through the first 2 games for the Phillies bullpen. Staying on the home opener here, huge plays by well, I forgot to put on the run sheet here. The one by Alec Bohm. Man, the jumping grab that he had.
That's fine.
Hey, man, you still have to get the bunnies to go up there, and I know he's a tall kid.
Here's what I would say this to all folks. It's a you can't play third base, you do that tall, you just can't do it. It helps. It's everything he had we needed on opening day, so that was good stuff.
That was a great play. Didi Gregorius with an absolute web gem to end the 9th there. 9th inning for Hector Neris. And nobody was on base or anything. We weren't in danger or whatnot. But I love to see that kind of effort. Just to, you know, lay it out there for your teammates. Let's get it let's get into the bottom of the ninth and have an opportunity to win. Phenomenal job by Didi. And then in the 10th inning, like we said, Connor Brogdon got us out of that inning, but he had a little bit of help. And it was a good thing that actually, I don't know if Hazley makes that throw on a dime. Quinn's got a pretty strong arm. And Quinn got that shallow center field, and he threw one right on the dime. The perfect bounce right there, the JT. And I know a lot of people were worried about blocking the plate, but man, like the ball took him right there, and he gave nothing to Albies at all, and that's why he's the best catcher in baseball.
You're right about that. He has a really good sense of how to that rule, which is awful, but the ability not being able to block the plate. I hate that rule. It's one of the rules of baseball. But but JT really does have a pretty good feel on how to massage that rule. And the ball takes you into the base pad when you are allowed to go there. And that was a perfect example. And man, Albies got lit up at home plate, which again, why I hate that rule. But that's a great play at home plate. Kudos to Quinn for getting that throw right on the money. It had been perfect, and it was. Look, winning opening day is always great. It's always a lot of fun. But I thought the way it really won was it tells us a little bit more. And I know it's only one game, but the way they go out and win that game, that's the kind of baseball they lose last year.
Right.
And they won 2 of them so far this year. That's good to see.
Absolutely. And I'm looking at thoughts on Major League Baseball keeping the extra inning rule and starting a man at second base. What's your thought on that? I'm not a fan of it. I understand why some people want to still have that rule. It tends to shorten the games up a little bit more. Obviously, you're not going to have the marathon games anymore that you're used to. I was at a game that went to 2:30 in the morning at one point. I love that type of stuff. I'm a baseball player, as are you. What are your thoughts on keeping that rule in place?
I understand why they're doing it. It does add some excitement. I'll say that, which the game can use from time to time. I'll even admit that. Here's what I think. If they're going to do that rule, I'd like to see them play one straight up extra inning where they don't put a runner at second base. And then if the 10th inning happens and we're still tied in the 11th, you want to add the second base, on second base, fine. But other than that, I agree with you. I've been involved in a lot of extra inning games over the last 10 years as a part of the broadcast team. And, all happy to pick things up, and then we got to fly to Chicago after this, But when you think back on the season and you think back to those games, they're the ones that you remember too. So I think they're a lot of fun. I get why they're doing it, but hey, look, let's keep it them. Fine.
Right. Yeah. Now we have a couple minutes left in the segment, and let's just touch on the only real thing that we need to touch on from the second game of the season yesterday. Zach Wheeler, unbelievable. 7 innings pitched, 1 hit, no walks, 10 strikeouts, 2 hits, 2 ribbies, double, single. I mean, the guy just did it all. I called it on Facebook and Twitter yesterday. Welcome to the Zach Wheeler show. Go ahead and touch on it. I think I've said everything that I need to say about Zach Wheeler.
Well, Zach Wheeler show, I need to have to take it because I'll watch that day in and day out. He's exactly what he's been billed as. He's the guy that got a guy that's learning how to use his stuff. Those are great stuff. He's learning how to use it, and you can see the maturation of Zach Wheeler over the course of the last couple of seasons, from his last season with the Mets to last year's short season with the Phils, and now his first start here. Again, when he goes out and does that kind of thing, pick hits away. I mean, that's what the vote is about.
Who needs to be it, right?
What takes you to take that away just when he's able to do it? Look, you have to remember, and I'm sure Philly fans are thinking about this Braves lineup is good. It's not okay.
It's really
good. Yeah. National League lineup. And the two guys, Nola and Wheeler, have done a really good job against this lineup so far. And again, you're going to see these guys 2 times this year. They're going to be games for the Braves to get to pitchers, no doubt. And that's going to happen in baseball. But man, for one day, a Saturday afternoon, a beautiful Saturday afternoon, Zach Wheeler was dominant over a really great lineup.
Yeah, more that. Yeah, electric stuff. I think he hit 98, 99 in the 5th inning. Yeah. I love seeing those numbers out of the starter for sure. All right, so we're going to hit our first break here on 102.5 Fox Sports The Gambler. This is Bud Light Baseball Brunch. Coming up in our next segment, we're going to announce the winner for the first trivia question. We're going to jump into trivia question number 2 and give out 4 more tickets for a Phillies-Mets game this upcoming week for the series against the Mets. And we also are jumping into an Ask Murph segment when the interviewer is actually interviewed. Stay tuned with us. We'll be right back right after this. We hit everything that we wanted to hit in that segment. Perfect.
You guys sound fantastic.
Thank you.
Yes, thanks.
So,
All right, so we'll bring it.
did you get everything you wanted?
Everything.
Perfect.
So what we'll do is, Jansen. Hey, all right. So when we come back in, right from the jump, I'm going to announce Mike Davis as the winner of the trivia question. All right. So once I announce it, I'm going to take it to you, play the clip from Victorino, and then. Do you want to do trivia question number 2 as well? All right. So then Murph is going to jump in. We'll do trivia question number 2. And then I'm going to go right into, once he's done doing that, I'm going to go right into Ask Murph. All right. So I'm going to start reading off my questions. We'll announce the winner for that towards the end of the segment. And then we'll play that clip right before we jump into our last break. All right.
How was our break?
We have some time left over after Ask Murph and after we announce the trivia question. I have the faces in new places that we didn't get to last week. So if we have some time after Ask Murph,
New faces.
yeah, because we didn't get to that last week. So I still tentatively have that lined up. So just in case we need any filler space.
And you can also touch on today's game.
Yeah. I figured we would do that segment 3. So we'll do our 3 betting lines. That shouldn't take us long at all. Yeah, we'll go back and forth on that. And then we'll do our Can You Believe It? And then look at the weekend. So we'll discuss today's finale. I have the lineup. We can get that out for the people. And we'll talk about the 3 games at home against the Mets, what's coming up. So you're going to get the top of the Mets rotation.
Yep.
And then we'll have the Braves looking for revenge in Atlanta next weekend. And then we'll close out the show.
Today's the
4th, yeah. It's the same lineup except they have nap start.
That's
There's fans. Hey, you guys want tickets? Tough. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. I'll get them the tickets later on.
Can you bring us back?
Yeah.
You want to see what the regional is. Is it Mayan prison?
No, I think Creed is the second break.
I'll take him out.
All right, welcome back. We're here at the Sports and Social Bar here at brand new Philly Live Casino here at the Sports Complex. We are just steps away from Citizens Bank Park, where this afternoon at 1:05, the Philadelphia Phillies go to the sweep of the rival Atlanta Braves. We have a couple of Braves fans sitting down here in front of us. Oh, man, we're going to have to give them a mock chop over here. Well, sorry to waste your guys' time again today. So. He said, so,
it doesn't look that good, but it is a good
yeah, he said he's offended that we called his lineup good. So, first of all, let's start out with some business here before we jump into Ask Murph.
You've got a
Okay,
winner, right?
we have a winner for our first trivia question. Who were the 3 runners on base for Shane Victorino's Grand Slam in the 2008 NLDS off CC Sabathia, Pedro Feliz, Brett Myers, and Jimmy Rollins were all the base runners. Mike, I will be sending you over. I have your email address. I will send you your 4 tickets for Tuesday's game, 7:05. It is McDonald's opening night, which will be handing out free t-shirts that night. Enjoy the game, enjoy the tickets. And we have 4 more tickets to give away for Wednesday's game, 4:05, also against the New York Mets. It is for it's a mystery bobblehead. So it's going to be trivia question number 2. They're still lying around a couple years ago.
I think they've been discouraged. All right, question number 2. Jim Thome hit his 400th career home run on June 14, 2004 to run shot to tie the game 2 in the bottom of the first. What team did he put against? And part answer, who was on base? All right. So again, put the answers on one post and get your answers in. 4 tickets to Wednesday's game against the Mets coming your way. If you're the first one with the answer, we'll tell you at the end of this segment who the winner is. I remember that.
I was at that game. Okay. I was there. I was there until 2:30 in the morning. Billy Wagner came out. There was 2 rain delays that night. Billy Wagner came out to warm up at the top of the 9th. And then the rain started again. And I'm a senior in high school at the time, and me and my best friend are at the game, and we had final exams the next day. So you knew we weren't leaving. So final exams were all that important for us. So, hey, guys, listen, let's have a little bit of fun right now. Like I said, as I teased when we were going into break, Murph is the one that's really the one interviewing others. I thought it would be fun if we did an Ask Murph segment instead of Murph asking the questions for a change. Give you guys a little bit of tidbits on, some information on Murph. Maybe you've been wondering all the years that he was a broadcaster for the Phillies, a field reporter. So, Murph, I want to start out here. So I have 8 questions, and then I have 8 rapid fire questions for you. This or that. All right, okay? But this or that one for fun. So we'll do those at the end. Number 1, this is a 2-part. I want to know what your favorite ballpark you've been to and your least favorite.
So my favorite ball, I get asked that question a lot, and it really makes you stop and think. I've been to every ballpark, except the new one down there in Texas now. I haven't been to that one yet. But my favorite ballpark generally go to San Francisco. Gorgeous ballpark, always packed. Great fans in San Francisco. Generally, pretty good weather, although it can get a little chilly there from time to time. But I love the city of San Francisco as well. So I would say San Francisco is near the top of my list. You can't go wrong with Wrigley. You can't go wrong with Fenway. Worst ballpark. No, I'm just kidding. Actually, I will say my least favorite ballpark is in the NL East, and it is Nats Park. Not a fan of Nats Park.
It's a spaceship with a parking garage attached to it.
Here's my problem with Nats Park. They could have done so much. I love the city of Washington. I love Washington, D.C. And they could have done so much with that ballpark. You walk into Citizens Bank Park, blindfolded, takes it off from the Philadelphia. The same thing is said of so many ballparks across the country. You walk into that park, you get dropped in there by a helicopter, you have no idea where you are. You still don't know where you are. You have no idea. It's very antiseptic. The media facilities are terrible there. It's not a great place to watch the game.
Oh, man, the broadcast box is all the way up there, a mile away from the field.
Larry Anderson had the best line of all time. He said it's the only ballpark in America that they will fly under. I mean, you're so high up. I've done a game. I've called a game from the press box in Washington, and you got
to take the stairways to heaven to get up there.
Exactly. I love DC. Like I said, I love going down. I'm not a fan.
God, I'm actually surprised by that. So you're a fan of Oakland Coliseum because that's a dump.
Well, yeah, but only been to Oakland for one series. Yeah, we don't go there very often, so it's not a great. It's not a great. I think I remember about Oakland for me during my job. I had lots of room to roam, and I could do all kind of cool things. It's not the facilities aren't great. It's and but DC should have done a better job.
I agree. I've always said that myself. All right, so jumping on to question number 2, and again, this is a 2-part. Best player to interview as in most accessible, and the one for the best soundbite. worst player to interview?
All right. So there are so many guys that I can choose from for both sides, quite frankly. But so one guy, and this is going to make our Atlanta fans happy, and I already had this written down, so I'm not even doing it for their benefit. But one of my favorite guys to interview ever is now a broadcaster for the Atlanta Braves, Jeff
Frenchie.
He is not only is he a friend, but he was so accessible, and he always gives thoughtful answers. And it's no surprise that he's now doing broadcasting for the Braves because he's really good. You know, he gets it. And so Jeff Brancourt is near the top of my list in terms of favorite people to talk to interview. Tougher to get, but when you got him, he was awesome. Jimmy Rock. Jimmy did not love to do the day-to-day, let's sit down and have a chat kind of stuff. But if I went to Jimmy and said, look, I need you next Tuesday, all right, at 4 o'clock. And he would say yes.
Was he there on time?
Oh, yeah.
I never knew he was there at 4 o'clock. I thought he was a Jay stroll into the ballpark, 5:30 type of guy.
No, he's better on that. But the thing about Jimmy is when you got him, what you got back was gold all the time. He's such a thoughtful guy. He reminds me a lot of Bryce Harper in that regard, in that, they answer the questions that you ask. They don't already have the answer prepared. They listen to your question and then they answer.
Right.
And so Jimmy, to me, was great. There's so many guys that I've loved to interview over the course of the years. Andrew McCutcheon, the guy on this year's team.
Uncle Larry.
So much fun. So, all right, least favorite. Everybody out there probably expecting me to say Jonathan Papelbon.
I would have been surprised if you didn't.
Well, I'm not going to say Papelbon because despite the awkward moments that Jonathan and I had on the air together, we also had like a come to Jesus moment after those moments, and where we kind of got each other after that, and then our relationship kind of got better from there, and our interviews got better. So I'm going to give Jonathan a pass. Two guys, and one was way before I was broadcasting, but I interviewed Barry Bonds way back in the day, and I got not only he was tough to interview, he was tough to pin down first and foremost. When I finally did get him, he gave me one-word answers, and he was gruff, and he was so.
Why am I not surprised by that?
Yeah, and the other guy is he was a Philly for a short period of time. AJ Burnett, he was tough. He did not really care for
your role.
Us. Yeah. I think that's a fair statement. So AJ Burnett was one of the guys that I did not particularly enjoy.
You know what tipped me off about AJ Burnett is the fact that they allowed him to wear 30.
Yeah.
Like I know Doc is cool a lot, but I'm sorry, you can't hand that out so quickly.
Well,
and he did.
They normally hold jerseys like that for a time. But
yeah, they freeze them.
Yeah. All right. So,
and Frank Gore, I was not a fan of Frank Gore when he was a Brave. I was not a fan of Frank Gore when he signed here. I'll tell you what, though, he brought me over, and he hit. I remember we were in Chicago at our hotel. Me and my dad went to Wrigley every year, and we were there in 2015. And the Phillies wound up sweeping the Cubs that weekend. And Frank Gore hit a big home run in extra innings that won them the first game of that series before Cole Hamilton with no hit in that.
Yep.
Jumping into the next question here. Outside of your job as a field reporter for the Phillies from 2012 to 2020, what was your favorite job that you ever had?
Favorite job? So this is kind of a loaded question because I've been so lucky.
I know that. But there's got to be something you can pinpoint.
Yeah, so, gosh, working obviously as a sports anchor at Comcast Sportsnet was a blast with the folks that I got to work with. My mentor, Neil Hartman, Derek Gunn, and Andy Fool. So that part of my life, 5 or 6 years that I was doing that was awesome. My time hosting Out of Bounds over at CNA was incredible too. So I've been lucky, but I will tell you, my first real fun on-air job was the host of the Inquirer High School reporter here in Philadelphia. And I would basically I would go around different high schools and I would anchor the show. It was the show from like the gymnasium with 2,000 high school kids screaming in the background. There's a certain bit of an energy there. I was a young guy. I was 26, 27 years old. And I'm, and I showed up, we had to do a man, we didn't include you. And it was so much fun. And covering high school sports is a blast. As sportscasters, you pay your dues, you work your way up, you do that kind of stuff. And I remember loving every minute of that and hosting that show. It was a great show, great people on it. So the Inquirer High School sports show on Fox back in the day.
All right, so let's jump out of your field for a question here, okay? What is your favorite movie trilogy? I know favorite movie is asked a lot, but I wanted to go off the cuff a little bit here. Right? Movie trilogy.
You know, it's again, cool question because we get asked favorite movie all the time. Movie trilogy. I'm having a hard time coming up with an answer for that. So I thought, okay, Godfather 1 and 2, awesome, great, terrible. So I can't put that on the The Vacation series 1 and 3, awesome. 2, not so great. Never vacation, like through that way. You know, so I'm not fancy. I'm not a Star Wars guy or so I went with the Indiana Jones series. I know.
Yeah, nobody wants to see Shia LaBeouf, right? And Shia LaBeouf or whatever the heck his name is. The guy, I just know we went off the rails.
Yeah. But yeah, so the Indiana Jones numbers 1, 2, and 3, and I'm stopping there. That's my favorite.
Back to the Future fan?
First one.
Just the first one?
Yeah.
Oh, come on, Murph.
Yeah.
I thought I knew that. I thought in the second one they went to 2015 and then back to an alternate in 1985 when Biff stole the almanac. And then they had to go back to 1955 and then the car got struck by lightning, so the back wound up in 1885. And that's the third one. They're in the Old West in the third one.
Didn't even know those.
I'm going to let you know the DVDs.
All right.
Not a problem. For a time. All right. So, now, if you weren't working in sports media, what job would you see yourself doing?
College.
Really?
Yeah. And I majored in English. That's what you do. You're not good at anything else. So I majored in English, and I was going to be like the guy in like Portland. That was like, I demand that kind of thing. But I got kind of waylaid by broadcasting St. Joe's games and fell in love with this career and was able to follow that. So I guess I'd say an attorney. I'm glad I'm not an attorney.
Interesting enough.
But maybe so.
Okay. An attorney at law.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so let's jump into the next one because you would probably have to be this man's attorney. What was it like to deal with Gabe Kapler?
What people don't understand about Gabe, and we were around Gabe every single day and for hours at a time because he allowed us a lot of access. Gabe is a terrific guy. Did he fit Philadelphia? Not really. He really did. And I got to know Gabe really well, and there were moments where I wanted to grab him by the shoulders and shake him and say, Gabe, that won't work here. You can't do that here. And I don't know if I ever completely understood that part of it. A lot of the issues that he had caused himself. But dealing with Kapler, which was the question, was outstanding. He gave us tons of access. He was always up front. He always told us what he was thinking before and after. And he's a good guy. He's a good guy. Wasn't good at Philly. I think they did the right thing moving on. I wish them the best at San Fran. But dealing with all right.
Okay. Now we have a list of 3 minutes, so we're going to have to kind of rapid fire through the rest of this here. 4-for-4 guy, favorite player you've seen growing up.
All right. So Mark was my Sixers guy growing up. Obviously, Kelly Lindbergh and Tim Kerr, the 2 guys at the Flyers that I always kind of gravitated to. I don't know why. I wasn't a huge Flyers fan when I was younger, but those were the 2 guys. Football, BRUNCH was my guy. Jaws, he was my guy. And I've gotten to know him over the years. He's a great person as well. So Jaws was always my guy. Doctor, my favorite player growing up. And then he proceeded to cut me from the high school baseball team. So, but nonetheless, still one of my favorite people.
All right, last question before we do our rapid fire this or that. Being that we are in a pandemic, what is your ideal vacation? Where would you go? What would you do?
So this is impossible question because my favorite television show is the Mayweather. It's like my dream beyond the Mayweather. If you listen to me, my dream beyond the Mayweather. And I daughter and I have talked about trying to get on the trip forever. I want to travel everywhere. I love travel. There's not a country on the planet that I wouldn't want to visit. And so I've been to South America. I've been to Europe. I've done a few things. When I go, I want to eat, I want to drink, and I want to do like some cool stuff, like amazing race. You know, I want to jump off of the. Well, yeah, I would jump off of the thing if I know.
Okay.
Yeah, that kind of stuff. So I don't know. The next place I'm going to go is Spain. Once I travel again, that's on my list.
Right.
So I'll say Barcelona, Madrid, go to Spain, go to the coast, that kind of thing.
Sounds great. Rapid fire. This or that. Superman or Batman?
Superman.
NSYNC or Backstreet Boys?
Backstreet
I sang I Want It That Way to my wife at our wedding.
Is that a Backstreet Boys?
Yes, she didn't want to do the garter or any of that traditional stuff. So I told her, I was like, I'm going to sing these. Coke or Pepsi? Toilet paper over or under?
Special place in hell. People put it on.
Well, I knew I was. Bacon or sausage?
Like bacon.
Cake or pie?
Neither. Not a sweet guy. I definitely don't like pie. I would eat cake, but I don't eat cake.
Okay. Drums or flats? For chicken nuggets. And the last one, because this is Philadelphia, cheesesteaks, with or without?
With, I should say.
I was going to say that.
Yeah, definitely.
For our race.
I will.
Okay, all right. Okay, I'm sorry. Did I go to break? Okay. Coming back after the break, we're going to announce the winner for the second set of tickets for the Philly Mets game on Wednesday. Also, we're going to play the clips because we forgot to play the clips for both of them. So we'll make sure we get those in on top of the next segment, which is our last one. And we're going to give you 3 betting lines that we both like for baseball today, just for Sunday. So please continue to follow us here on 2.5 Fox Sports The Gambler or iHeartRadio app. You can listen to us anywhere worldwide. We'll be right back right after this.
All right.
How much time we got on this one, Jansen? 420? Okay.
Total
420.
All right, you get about 56.
57. Yeah. All right, so
How do we only have 4
well, we have 10 minutes last segment.
Oh,
Yeah, 10 minutes, and then they have to play
4.5 minutes.
break. Yeah,
I thought you said we had 4.5 minutes left.
no, we're good. We're
And
good.
also, you guys are only Sunday programming before we go back to Saturday. So if you go over a couple minutes, it's not the end of the world.
Yeah.
I mean,
Also, Janet just said to save time. He said if it's cool, he'll come back with the Victorino sounder.
Okay, yeah.
And then you guys can lead into the Tony.
Yeah, skip Creed this week. You can save it for next week.
Yeah, that's good.
Did he tell me to go after myself?
He's crying.
All right, so we'll come back in with Victorino. I'll announce Dan Hartman as the winner. And then at that point, I'll cue it to Jansen. He could play the Tommy one because it's Harry. I love it.
Should we give? We should probably give Bud Light another.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Did I not say Bud Light Baseball Brunch that last time?
I think you just said baseball brunch the second time, and you did the first time.
Both intros, I know I did.
Okay.
I don't think I have on the outros. So, yeah, when we come back in.
Keep John Duranzi.
Oh, dude, the first time he was in studio with us, and I went off on John Middleton. Like, I just completely, blew my gasket. And he was just, in awe. And then, I don't know. He was saying it to them. And I think Kyle was taking him down in Quimby's elevator. He's like, who the hell is that guy?
I've known Duranzi for 15 years. I'm on the board of directors for my charity. John's on the board of directors too. So he's one of the great people around.
Oh, he was such a cool dude.
He's such a good guy. And he's always helping out and stuff like that. Always.
My buddy Pat, he's waiting for me to blow my gasket on the program. He's like, does Murph know that you're full of TNT?
Yeah.
And I'm like,
I'm like, well, I was like, the Phillies haven't done anything yet to piss me off. So, eventually I will blow my gasket.
I'm sure.
But,
Yeah, you might want to
keep me happy.
They got a Bud Light beer tower.
Okay, I'll do that. Not a problem.
Shout out to Ramsey.
All right, so Victorino, Bud Light Baseball Brunch, and the towers here. What's that?
Minute 30.
Minute 30? Okay. Give the winner. Okay. All right, and then once I announce the winner for the second trivia question, head into Tommy. Yeah, and then we'll head into our lines. We'll do our Can You Believe It segment, and then we'll talk about the rest of the week. We'll be good. We'll be good.
It flies.
It goes by fast.
I think we're only 2 games to talk about.
Right.
We're going to have a week of games.
We're also not going to have
We're not gonna touch
we're
it.
not going to have Ask Murph every week too.
Well, that's true.
Slow weeks though. I'll come up with more.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But
Maybe
those
kind of
the Apple Boppo, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those kinds of things.
Yeah. We'll
They're easy, time filler. People like that.
oh yeah.
I think people love our list. Give me your top 3. Give me your top
Not Rushmores. Yeah.
And that's stuff that I grow.
30 seconds.
People eat that up.
How about this stat real quick? I'll drop this. The Phillies won 2 games last year, which they did not home. 2 games. All season.
Wow.
Yeah, 60 games.
Yeah.
They've already won 2 this year.
Welcome back. Last segment here for Bud Light Baseball Brunch here at Sports and Social in South Philadelphia at Philly Live Casino. Again, we are steps away from Citizens Bank Park as the Phillies break out the rooms this afternoon on these Atlanta Braves fans that are sitting by us. Make sure you guys are going to need to drink a lot today, so make sure you guys grab some Bud Light beer towers over here from the bar. You guys are going to sure hell need it after you deal with our lineup and Zach Efron. But hey, let's go ahead here. Let's announce the second trivia question winner. Dan Hartman, congratulations. You won 4 tickets to the Phillies Mets game on Wednesday at 4:05 again. It's mystery bobblehead game. The trivia question was Murph.
Yeah, Jim Tony hit 400 home run at the Philly. We wanted to know against and who was on base for that answer. Well, it's going to take.
Dude, I could listen to him all day. Again, I know if we're going to do this every single week, it's going to drive me crazy. But hey, the answer was?
The answer was, Harry didn't tell us, but that's okay.
It's all good.
Harry did everything else perfectly right. Cincinnati Reds and on base, Jimmy Rock.
Jimmy Rock.
And one of the great Harry calls of the whole time, for sure.
Fun fact about that, Ken Griffey Jr. was sitting on 499 career home runs, but the Reds sat him because they wanted him to hit 500 in Cincinnati. He was also sitting on 599 for a 3-game series in Philadelphia in 2008, and the Reds tried doing the same thing, but he wound up hitting it in Miami instead.
Yeah. I hate when teams do that. Aside, I hate when teams, sit at guys who does certain things. Just let it happen.
Look at Michael Jr. Yeah, Michael Jack. It's one of the greatest moments in Phillies history, and he did it at Fenway Stadium in Pittsburgh, and it won them the game. That was a huge hit. Huge hit. All right. So let's jump in here. Again, this is our last segment here on 102.5 Fox Sports The Gambler. Right now, since we are at the FanDuel Sportsbook, which is the first regional FanDuel Sportsbook here in the Philadelphia area.
By the way, this place is awesome.
Amazing.
You hadn't been down here yet. When I walked here last week for the first time, I was blown away. It gorgeous casino, great where we are set up right now.
Reef of all
It's a beautiful spot in the are here ready to bring you your food and drink, gamble off, bring them the game. So,
And you want to be down here with us next weekend for sure, because it's Sunday for Masters, Major League Baseball action. It's going to be the night after night one of WrestleMania and the night two of WrestleMania for you wrestling fans out there. Macho Man, Murph, Macho Man. All right, so let's go over our three betting lines on the Sunday's Major League Baseball ticket. Can be money line, run line, over under run totals, whatever we want to do. I'll start out my first one. I feel that the Oakland A's are going to avoid the sweep against the Houston Astros today. Get your ticket in on Oakland Athletics at minus 108. Murph, what's your first one?
all right, so much like you, I was looking at the schedule and I'm thinking, all right, teams that have won the first two in the series. Now, this does not count for the Philadelphia Phillies. This is completely – that logic does not apply here in Philadelphia.
Absolutely.
It's hard to come out of the gate and win 3 straight against any team. The Tigers have won 2 against the Indians in their first 2 games. So I'm going to take the Indians on the money line, and the Tigers will suffer their first loss of the season. I think that's a lot.
The Indians seem to be Cleveland baseball team.
That's true.
So my second one right here is the Los Angeles Dodgers. They lost the opening game in Colorado. They won the last 2. They're going to go 3-1. The Rockies are dreadful, awful, pathetic. They're a terrible baseball team. They're paying $51 million for the third baseman. That's no longer on their roster. Get the Dodgers in. I know it's a big line at minus 196, but hell, if you parlay it with something else, go for it. Murph, what's your second one?
All right, so the second one, Yanks and Blue Jays up there in the BRUNCH, and they both won a game early in the season. They're 1-1 each. I like the over in this game. Nice weather on the East Coast. Baseball is going to be fine in New York. 9.5 no rest day. Hit the over. That Blue Jays lineup and the Yankees lineup combined, they're going to get more than that.
New Yankee Stadium is a complete jet stream as well. My third one here, I'm taking 2 awful teams, one of which I picked last week is my dark horse in the American League, and they're making me look like a horse's you-know-what. So, Orioles or Red Sox, I'm also going to go with an over here. Over-under is 10 runs scored. I think there's going to be a plethora of runs today up there at Fenway Park. The Red Sox offense has not gotten off the runway yet. So, over 10 runs up there at Fenway Park. And, again, I will be tabulating this throughout the season so you guys know who you want to follow. I'm going to probably say it's more likely Murph. I've been terrible over the years. But, or you could be Jason actually betting the base today. So, Murph, what do you think? Yeah.
What a terrible program. All right, third one. Angels White Sox tonight, 8:17 Eastern time. So afternoon game out there in Anaheim. But White Sox and Angels, I like the Angels on the money line over the Sox today. Again, the White Sox are probably a better team than the Angels. However, I'm not going to go that today. And I think he's going to go out and look good in the spring. He'll be in good shape, and they'll Angels beat the White Sox.
Awesome. So it sounds great. And those are our 6 picks total for the week. So you guys can place money on it. If you want to give us a few weeks to find out who's actually being successful, go for it. But outside of that, make sure you guys download your FanDuel Sportsbook app. Come on down here and place your bets with us. Now we're going to jump into Can You Believe It? Eventually, we're going to have a segment. This is going to be a Harry Callis dedicated segment. Can you believe 2 things that we both found interesting to the first 3 days of the Major League Baseball season? Obviously, this is the season we're going to have more to go off of the Major League Baseball week before our show. So why don't you start off with your first one?
Yeah, they will say whenever you go to the ballpark, you never know what you're going to see. So Herman Mercedes of the Chicago White Sox was a rookie. He said 1 day into the season, he was 0 for 1. He started the season off on opening day. He went 5 for 5. He followed up the next day, 3 for 3. He is in the record books, 8 straight hits, 8 for 8 to start the season for their rookie.
First time since 1900.
How about that?
First time since 1900.
Yeah. So, good start. So that's my favorite.
And keep in mind as well, his first 8 bats this season, he had as many hits as the Atlanta Braves have had in the first 2 games. For a whole roster, All right, so I'm going to go with Miguel Cabrera.
Okay.
Hit his first home run on opening day since 2008. Did it against Shane Bieber in the snow.
Cool vision.
Absolutely. He didn't even know it was happening. So Miguel Cabrera, and the fun part about this is, first one since 2008, it is an ironclad block. The Phillies are winning the World Series now this year. Make sure you guys go to the book and put that down in the futures.
Yeah. All right. This was like something something you hardly ever see anymore. You used to see it a lot more in baseball. You don't hardly see it anymore. But the St. Louis Cardinals and the Cincinnati Reds got together, and they got together. Bench clearing ball.
You bet you they did. Oh, man.
Nick Castellanos was knocked down, and the bench was clear, and it was
Lena was ticked off.
it was a good one. Not like the way Castellanos started on opening day. So that's why he got thrown at. And
then he flexed on the pitcher when he slid into him at the plate.
But here's what I love. You talk about setting up some bad blood for the rest of the season. We're in the first 3 days of the season. This team's already got some bench players. We're going to see each other 16 more times this year. Bring it on.
I need bad blood in sports. It's too much bromancing going on these days in sports, man. Bring back the hatred. That's what I live for. Cody Bellinger, he hit a home run on opening day, but it turned out to be a single because he was in his home run trot, and Justin Turner thought that it was caught instead of hitting off the glove, so that he came back over and run back towards first base. And Bellinger ran past him. So
you can see how that happened.
Oh, yeah.
He didn't have the glove in the fielder and it bounced over the wall without the glove. But yeah, not an ideal way to start. What if he gets to 1 home runs or 60 home runs?
Right, yeah.
So 60 home runs.
I don't count Bonds either. I always say the most legit home run record over the last, since Roger Maris, to me is Ryan Howard when he hit 58.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess you could say Stanton too. What did Stanton hit 60 the one year?
Did he get to 60?
I think it was 2015. He was up there. I think he wound up hitting more than Howard did
but yeah,
in his MVP season.
But can you imagine for Bellinger if he had that one more? He finished his career at 399.
He's a strange bird too. So
yeah.
All right, so that's Can You Believe It? So we got a couple minutes here left, and let's take a look at the week ahead for the Phillies. We have today's finale versus the Braves. Same lineup as been, except obviously they're giving Real Muto a day off. And as Keith Kappa would say, Nappy is in the lineup. He's back in 7th today. Everything else is the same. Pretty much everybody moves up. Bone moves up. Kukurias, they all move up. Zach Eflin's on the mound. And then, as we stated, we're going to have 3 more games against the Mets this week, which we gave tickets away to all of them. We're going to get Jacob deGrom right out of the gates on Monday. And then we follow up with next weekend. The Atlanta Braves are going to look for some revenge in Atlanta.
Yeah, they certainly are. And, Atlanta's a tough place to play. The Phillies have played okay down there over the last couple of years. But the Mets series was interesting because of the fact that they have not gotten a chance to play yet. Pitching that do not favor the Phillies.
Matt Moore versus Jacob deGrom.
Generally, he would have worked its way out of Aaron Nola and deGrom would have pitched against one another. But there's different ways to look at that too. Aaron Nola now gets to face their number 3 starter when the time comes. So it'll be a tough series. We talked about it in April, playing the NL East. It's a gauntlet, and the Phillies are going to have to work their way through. They're off to a good start. I don't know about you. I do know about you. You're very excited to see Zach Eflin get out there today and get his first start of the season. To me, Zach Eflin is a critical person on this team. If
100%.
If he pitches to the level that we think he can, I really think he's taken a step forward from a year ago, 2 years ago. If he's good, this team is going to be good. So excited to see Eflin against this tough Braves lineup today. Should be a lot of fun. But then, we're on the Mets.
Absolutely. Looking forward to it. Thank you all again for tuning in to Bud Light Baseball Brunch here at 102.5 Fox Sports The Gambler on the iHeartRadio app, 104.1 up in the Trenton area and WDAS AM and the rest of the city. Please, you have no excuse not to come out and see us next week. We'll be back down here again at the Sports and Social. No excuses next week. Next week's not Easter. So please come on down here, get an autograph or a photo from Murph, and just say hello to me. I'm not anybody else really outside of that. So come on down here and hang out with us. We'll see you guys, and we'll see you guys next week. Good job, man. Good job. Thanks, Shan.
Yeah, thanks.
I did that one time.
Yeah, I had tickets for my season tickets on Friday night. Phillies Braves. I think it was like 2014, 2015. And I put money on the Braves, and the Phillies hit a 2-run home run in the first inning. And I'm high-fiving people. I'm like, do I really want the Phillies to win, or do I want to win? You know, it was a 14 parlay. Like I put like $500 down on it. It would have won me like $3,000. I'm like, hey.